Got Hunter Chipley saying he's going to call it 0-1 in favor of UGEN.
Okay.
Valentin Fiancet, this is crazy. He's calling KIMEO. James Farage says 1-2. I'm not sure.
We don't know in what direction. It's just going to be 1-2. That's a safe prediction. I like that one.
I'm thinking James is a UGEN fan, so I think he's calling it for UGEN.
Okay.
You're
also important
Valentine.
to note, I did mention earlier, I think Eva is part of the KIMEO roster. I don't think we got to see much of her in the previous match versus Parkour 59. Maybe they'll utilize one of the French women's division champions a little bit more against UGEN, but this is first space right here. So the dive through comes through right underneath the mountain. Once again, that open space is open season for getting the tags.
Yeah, Khalil. Yeah, it was a great choice to go Golden Showers, which is ripping down across Sisters behind Cube. Put him right on top. Khalil, as tall as he is, he's no slouch on the evading side either. He's quite a good evader, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. On at the tilted cube. No, we're going to reset once again over at the Lazy Boy instead. Do we slow things down, though? The pace is still blistering, but finally caught up, trying to double back over the second sister. Not going to get there, though.
Great RGS, looking for confirmations. Something that's happened this sport over the last year is there's just so many variations of cutbacks on the sisters, and chasers are starting to get privy to it. So they're starting to, while at these high-speed, complex movements with precise foot placement, they're starting to watch the evader in detail for like hand placement and hips.
Man, I love that you just implemented RGS into your vernacular like so seamlessly. It's so great. Nice little slide right there. It was a committal option, but it's, again, with the chaser or with the evader, excuse me, just not really looking in the direction of the chaser. Pretty fine to go for.
Basically, if you're playing a French team, watch out for the long side Viper. That's their wheelhouse. They love that. It's amazing how many times they get tags with it.
Athletes ready!
As expected for two powerful teams like this, have not found the point that breaks this one wide open just yet. Overlay is off for a second, but we're about halfway through. There it is. KIMEO stalling out the clock right here. Oh, you tried to bend the ridge. That's crazy.
Yes, so that little cutback, it has its place. I know that got Frank like 3 of his 6 evasions at Pan Am's, but it's so dangerous because if they take that tray and they're looking for confirmations, as Richard did, that's it's such a dangerous cut. But of note, I think Richard did a behind the back through the legs tag there to get him. I'll have to see the slow-mo.
Sometimes it's all about the style points. We'll see that one gets logged in to the Rolodex of different dodging options, evasion options that we might be having right here. Here's the ridge once again. Very, very nice. We're going to go up to the loading bay, but finally caught on the double back right there. Richard played that so well until the very end.
Ben is an absolute menace of a chaser. Richard had to be feeling the pressure, and he was nullifying it quite well, even stalling at the ridge, but right there you can see the nerves and that pressure coming through as Ben was able to scare him out of the bait early. He jumped the gun, and Ben was right there ready to nab him.
Okay, here's Orlando. Ben, of course, was the evader that was able to make the sudden death victory happen against Parkour 59 in the previous match, but it ain't going to matter here. 8 seconds off the clock is all it took for Orlando.
I am not surprised that they chose Orlando to be on Ben. Orlando is a top-notch chaser, and it looks like Ben just couldn't handle that pressure there.
Yeah, so many tactics coming through in terms of player face-offs that we're going to see. So the next time Ben takes the quad, we're only about halfway through this match. I'm curious to see if they put Orlando back on the platform to chase. I would imagine they do. Here we go. Tilted cube. There's the tiger on the branch. You're going to shake the tree a little bit. You slide underneath. It goes under the sisters. No contact made quite yet. Rich comes through. That is a huge reach right there. And I think you could just chill out for a second by the tilted cube. There's plenty of time on the clock. UGEN's going to be the one to break this game wide open as we're halfway through.
Orlando is not to be trifled with. He's just so fast. And this really came through at that perch showdown. The chaser wants to have that control on the perch, but the cost is time. And that showdown took a while, and Orlando got perfect timing on his tripwire and was able to squeeze out into the scissors. Ben right back up.
Okay, so the face-off works in the opposite direction too. You said Ben a relentless chaser, so aggressive. Can he get the flush out he's looking for? It looks like he wanted it. It was just a little bit too slow on the outside. Finds it right there on the right leg.
Ben, oh my goodness. Orlando, I gotta say, he has definitely been working. There's no way he hasn't been working at his timing. There's so many key moments there where he was able to take Ben's heavy pressure and nullify it, but right there he missed a key look. He didn't wait for Ben to start to look for that trap, and it allowed him just to be a sitting duck for that pass. But it was a great run from Orlando. Mo against Ben. Rodeo.
Money Mo coming through. Underneath the sisters. Ben, all quadrupedal all the way to the loading bay. Oh my goodness, the movement is just so fast, quick, and in a hurry. Coming over the tilted cube, the slide comes through. It looks like contact was made. I'm not sure. We're seeing both of it on the side right here. I think the evasion's not going to be given. Yeah, they're swapping out.
This is classic Mo. He will just play so casually for the first 10 to 15 seconds, like he's not even nervous. But you can see if you start to sneak out of all of his traps, like Ben was doing, he starts to up the ante, and he got it just at the last second there. You got a juggernaut on Mo. Let's see what he can do.
That's right. Sent it underneath the mountain. Slide was long, but not long enough. You need a little bit more ice on that. Here we go. Found it sliding through the ridge. Nice little creep out.
There you go. Jonathan is a juggernaut. You can't toy with him at the ridge like that. Mo was just being way too complacent at the ridge, and Jonathan's trap continuum is quite strong.
Okay. KIMEO
looks like
still
he got
on
Luke
the
up.
back foot here. Luke to chase. Can KIMEO find the equalizer point? Starts with a little bit of slow action along the outside, but he went up for the vault at the lazy boy a little bit too soon. UGEN able to cut the angle.
Luke is more and more starting to look like Orlando with how he moves and how he understands the game, and that was just such good power. He saw that cut. He knew that there wasn't. Jonathan was already committed to that rail stride, and so he didn't have to wait for any confirmations. He just went straight to it.
Athletes ready!
Putting up Luca against Luke.
Right, escaping over towards the tilted cube. Is it going to be the Tiger up there once again? No. Wow, slow down by the lazy boy. Swipe down comes through, but will not catch that jersey.
Yes.
This is a lot of time left on the clock, especially with the vault over, just hurtling over that last slide. I think that was right at the last second right there. I don't know if the evasion's going to be given. UGEN's calling for it.
I don't think the Ludi dive out of the cube was in time, but he was calling DTR before that. He signaled that he got the tag earlier, so he is going to call DTR.
So my guess for this one is when the UGEN athlete basically hurdled over KIMEO. It was a little bit underneath the mountain, I believe. That's probably where the contact was going to be made. We're going to see the replay in just a second. Intensively looking at the camera operator, looking at the replay. Chat, what do you think? Evasion or no? We got Greg Ball on the quad, 3-time world champion. Talking to
Yeah. For anyone who didn't know that, Greg Ball he's a 3-time world champion. And as much as we poke fun at each other, Greg Ball is a great guy, huge contributor to the sport. He's amazing on the mic now that he's retired. Glad to have him involved.
I was gonna say it's such a funny bit to only us. Like,
No. Trust me, it's not a funny bit just to us.
Okay.
It's a funny bit to a lot of people.
Okay, cool. I'm glad everyone.
And he deserves it. And he deserves it. Here's why. It's because for years he talked so much smack on the American community, and we loved it. We just ate it up. because we knew, because as Apex E, we were very secretive and we were working really hard behind the scenes. And so every time we heard the Brits talking smack, we just loved it because we knew that they didn't know what was coming to him. So he deserves it. He deserves it. We can joke around as much as we want.
Oh yeah. I love all the history too. Yeah, like the war was coming, but they just didn't know what was about to happen. So.
Yes, so fun. Yeah, the referee's taking some time on this, looking like you said so pensively. It's because World Chase Tag fans are known to be quite violent, and if he makes the wrong call here, this place could just erupt. People getting thrown into the water.
An outrage.
You never know what's going to happen with World Chase Tag fans, so you better make the right call.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he's looking this hard at it, it is pretty difficult to justify a tag in those positions, just kind of assuming if you really have to think about it that hard. I think I did see him mouth, "I don't know," at one point. Not to put
look how
words in his
scared he
mouth,
looks.
Wait,
Look how scared
his
he
phone,
looks. He doesn't even know what he
said
said,
tag. Did you see that?
What?
He held his phone and it said tag in text on the phone.
There's something fishy going on here. He's being controlled by someone who paid him off.
Yeah, we need to go talk
to
the
get
banker
to the
upstairs about this one. Is that a deal or no deal? I'm not 100% sure, but Chad, you can corroborate with me on this one. His phone, you can go back on a YouTube broadcast too. It literally said tag on his phone. Someone sent him that.
I think Valentin's behind this. He's not present. He's sick in his bed, but he's the one sending these texts. I'm sure of it. Great start.
Okay. Running around, mountain open area once again.
There you go.
Wow, KIMEO looking to get the equalizer right here. Barely can't reach fingertips. Just
that's the dive.
Just
this could
wiggling
be it.
over
this
there.
Could be it. He's desperate.
One last slide comes through. KIMEO will find the equalizer.
Oh my goodness, Luca! I have not seen this level of quad IQ from the invader from Luca before. He's been putting in work. Dave is no slouch on the chasing. Key moment is when he was able to bait that huge dive over the ridge, and that sapped so much time, gave him the chance to get good positioning at the bay, and then that was all she wrote. Well done.
And as we go into chase 14, now evened up in the score, we did get a note from production that DTR, they were checking the time code of the video, and it was actually a tag made at 19.9 seconds. That's why they were taking so long to figure out. It wasn't necessarily if it was a tag or not, it was did they have enough time.
Okay. All right, Valentin, I'm sorry what I said.
That might just be the front.
It did say tag on his
Valentin
phone. Yeah,
too.
Exactly.
But that's the story we'll go with for now. All right, chase 15, evasion from either side will win the match. UGEN gets first strike at it though.
Oh, well done. Oh!
Okay.
One thing I love about I call this the macro reputation game. Because Ben is such a menace and people are so scared of him now, they don't take looks that they would otherwise take, and that's twice now that we've seen Ben head someone off just before the ridge, and it's because they're just flying around the bay. They don't even want to play with Ben at the bay. So his reputation actually precedes him and can cause people to ship up, just like Seth Wang often does to people.
The psychology inside and out of the game. Ben was the one that was able to find KIMEO their win against Parkour 59.
Oh.
Can he get caught right here? Somehow creates a little bit of distance right here. And was it down to the lazy and the crawl underneath the sisters? I can't believe he didn't get tagged right there. I think he finally got it at 19.4, but that was an unbelievable chase.
That is weird to see Orlando being just, flustered. Ben snuck out of so many situations, especially right here. Oh my
Wow,
goodness.
I cannot believe he didn't get tagged under the sisters there.
That was crazy, but Orlando kept his cool. That was an amazing cut. And then once again, Orlando has one of these reputations as well. When you have Orlando behind you, it's like Kyle Soderman or Seth Wang. Like you make mistakes because of the reputation. And Ben did not take a key look at the ridge. He could have stopped. He could have had the evasion, but instead he cut across the middle without the look. Orlando was right there to take advantage of that. But 19 point something couldn't have been closer.
Yeah, and just like that, folks, if you wanted drama out of this chase tag event, you certainly have it. KIMEO is 2 for 2 in forcing sudden death situations. So we are going back to the quad for one final chase on either side right here. The big question is, who do they put up, Amos? What do you think?
Well, Orlando just on he's probably taking a breather. He's a power athlete, might not do well for cardio. I actually remember him saying something about that. So they want Orlando on, especially if they throw Ben in the evader position. They're going to want to put him on, so Orlando's done a great job of neutralizing. But it looks like Orlando might be, he's kind of bent over. He looks tired. You might have to think about somebody else. Ben's already out there. Obviously, they're going to throw him in the evader, even though he was just on. Ben has good cardio, and there you go. Yeah, UGEN looks still undecided. With Haroon not playing, it looks like they're going to throw up that Luke. Okay, Orlando's tired, but Luke has a similar style. He's got high pressure, and so I think they're opting to use that high pressure and that speed to neutralize Ben, which we have seen Ben make mistakes under that pressure. So starting at the ridge, Ben, my prediction is that he's going to try to pull Luka into a ridge game, and then he's going to jet towards Cube, probably hitting the dream.
Okay. Timing is the name of the game right here. This is Ben once again trying to get some good times on the clock right here. Doubles back onto the sisters. If he just gets a 20-second outright, it means an evasion has to match in order to go to sudden death too. Is he going to get caught right here? It looks like he's got it. I think that was around 16 seconds there, Amos.
Yeah, and as I was saying, Luke has that high pressure and that speed that's great to put on Ben. But Ben sneaking out, he had such a great start and then played the cube so well that he was able to put such a good time on the board. So this is going to be difficult. This is going to be very difficult. Let's see if UGEN can match that. It looks like they only have a 4-second or so clock to get the official time.
Okay, time to beat, I would imagine is, again, I think it was around 16 is what I saw on the clock once the contact was made by the sisters. Now this is tough, right? Like I said before, average time for a tag, maybe even lower. It might even be 10 to 12 seconds.
Yeah, and Khalil is such a strong chaser. I hope Khalil can keep his cool, play his game, but yeah, 16-second range is not crazy. Khalil doesn't need to be desperate. He doesn't need to throw himself in the first two interactions. He'll play his game for this one. The psychological game going on right now. The pressure they must both be feeling. Looking into each other's eyes and know that this is going to determine the match. This is a big match today.
That's right. And again, important to note, sudden death situations are different scoring mechanisms than just an outright win. So this does change the overall standings for sure. Let's see, KIMEO trying to come through right now. UGEN athlete just not giving it to them. Cut the angle off though. Found it in under 12. And just like that, KIMEO is going to take another sudden death victory.
Scream of frustration back there. You know, that was a strange start, I gotta say, Benny hilling the ridge like that. And it may have looked so harmless, but Benny hilling the ridge actually set up Khalil downstream to be able to be right on top of that lazy boy and start setting that trap. And even though he didn't get the tag there, he came out of that with